Speakers of the Houses of Parliament have been urged to keep them open during this pandemic period to continue with their oversight roles, especially now that both levels of government are receiving emergency funds to combat the spread of COVID-19. These are some of the emerging issues at the Senate Liaison Committee meeting in Naivasha, Nakuru County. And Bridget Ngana now joins us live with an update from those proceedings. Bridget, what has been the conversation this morning regarding this development?
Well, Julians, we have seen the presence of the Auditor General Nancy Gadhangu in the panel sessions addressing issues to do with oversight. And also this time during the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen both Houses of Parliament go on recess. But now during the sitting of the proceedings at this liaison committee, it has emerged that there are calls for these two houses, the National Assembly and the Senate, to continue with their sittings, the oversight role for the county governments. And remember, this is a time when this country has been receiving a lot of donor funding. And there have been complaints that, or it has emerged also, that these funds have not been used for the purposes of preventing the spread or cushioning people from the spread of the virus. But in the presentations by the Auditor General and by the Director of Public Prosecutions is that they seek the strengthening of the Committee on Public Accounts at the Senate, so that what they find out, or the findings that they come up with regarding the usage of public funds, where there has been instances of misappropriation, that they would be conclusive enough for prosecution or see further prosecutions. We have seen several governors summoned over time over the misuse of funds in the county level, but that is just that. It ends at the Public Accounts Committee, and we don't see this issue being taken up by the relevant officers. Even the findings by the Office of the Auditor General, they've just remained to be just that, showing us that there's been massive plundering of public funds, but there hasn't been effective prosecutions or conclusive prosecutions, even having guilty verdicts for that matter over these cases. There's also been proposals that even at the counties, as much as the governors are moving out, trying to show that they are executing flagship projects, they've ended up being white elephants. And this is a note from the Office of the Auditor General that even though they are calling for more disbursement of resources to the county level, as they move towards showing that they are working or launching development projects, the reality on the ground is that there is not the sense of this development for the Mwananchi, because these are just white elephants. But they're also seeking amendments. Also, the Senate rather is seeking amendments to the Wealth Declaration Act, and they say that it shouldn't just be on paper. When somebody wants to stand or vie for public office, they should not just declare their wealth on paper, but there should be legislation that accompanies the scrutiny of this declaration, so that it would go in tandem with the office that they hold. We've seen people, once they assume public office, they now become very wealthy or massively wealthy, and there is no maybe further investigations into how they have amassed such wealth, despite them declaring their net worth during the committee sittings of scrutiny. But these are just some of the emerging issues coming up. But one of the keynote addresses that when these houses resume, or they should continue with their oversight role, is that they should ensure they're also adhering to the COVID-19 prevention protocols, and technology has come in handy. And Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has said for them, since they have a committee that is looking at how this country is dealing with this pandemic, they have been able to employ the use of technology to a great extent. A lot of issues are coming out of these sittings, Julians. But remember, this was a liaison committee to introduce the new leaders of the different parliamentary committees, Senate committees, so that they could also understand the work that they have to do, because they only have about 22 months in office.